Everyone, welcome to the show. I have an update to share about two of Trump's Capitol insurrectionists. It's time for an episode of Where Are They Now?
Matthew Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
So 55-year-old Army veteran Thomas Munn, 57-year-old Dawn Munn, and their three adult children, as well as one grandchild, were seen on surveillance video. They climbed through a broken window. They entered the Capitol on January 6th, and they were later seen inside a Senate office. So the whole family is from Texas. They all talked about their intentions and their crimes in public social media posts, also in private messages. On December 28th, the father, Thomas, posted on Facebook, quote, "POTUS has requested your attendance, Washington, D.C., January 6, 2021. Our president has only asked two things from us so far. Number one, vote. Number two, January 6, 2021. On January 2nd, he shared an advertisement on Facebook. It read, "March on Congress, January 6th for Donald J. Trump." And then Thomas captioned it, quote, "The time has come." He shared a rear photo also of the family camper. This was on January 5th. This was as they were on their way to DC. And there was a sign attached to the rear of the camper, which read, "DC bound, we are Q." On January 6th, Thomas posted again. This time he blamed the police for the violence. And he said that only a few windows and doors were damaged that day. I guess he also believes he's clairvoyant because he also wrote, quote, "Nothing inside the Capitol was damaged. I can tell you, patriots never made it to the chamber." Never in all caps. He then went on to either lie or admit that he's clueless because he claimed that there was no violence inside the Capitol. And he said that the media wasn't even there. He said, quote, "Never saw any media or police." Really? Then, of course, he blamed Antifa. His wife, though, Dawn, gave up the goods. She, on January 2nd, posted on Facebook and she wrote, quote, "Nothing will stand in our way from taking our country back. DC bound." She also shared memes about 1776, talk of Civil War, the January 6th event. And in a private Facebook message on January 6th, she wrote, quote, "We went in and stormed Capitol." In another message to a daughter that didn't travel with them to DC, Dawn said, quote, "We stormed in, went in and out broken window." And then she admitted to the violence to which her husband was obviously oblivious. She stated, quote, "They barricaded the door, so they took out window, climbed in." In a second message, she said, quote, "I got body checked by coup and sent flighting. Knee is pretty color." So I'm assuming she meant to write she got body checked by a cop and not coup, because during a July 13th interview with the FBI, Dawn said that she got in the way of a physical altercation between an officer and a member of the mob, and she was accidentally knocked to the ground. Dawn also claimed when she spoke with the FBI that she saw an officer destroying a bathroom. She said he was breaking things, pulling things off the wall. Sure, Jan. However, she did admit to seeing other members of the mob trying to destroy a painting and trying to access drawers in a conference room. But when she was asked if she would do it all over again, Dawn replied, quote, "Most definitely." So both Thomas and Dawn were arrested on July 13th of 2021. They were each charged with entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and parading or demonstrating in a Capitol. In May of this year, both Dawn and Thomas pleaded guilty to the parading charge, and they were each facing up to 6 months in jail, 5 years of probation, and $5,000 in fines. I couldn't locate the sentencing memo for Thomas Munn, but the government requested 30 days in jail, 3 years of probation, 60 hours of community service, and $500 in restitution for Dawn. So I would assume that the prosecutor probably requested the same sentence for each of them. At the sentencing hearing, Dawn apologized, but not really for what she and her family did. She said, quote, "I'm sorry for what happened on January 6th." And then she launched into excuses. She continued to repeat Donald Trump's election fraud fairy tales. Well, U.S. District Judge Beryl Howe presided over all of the Munn family cases. And she told Dawn that given her lack of true remorse and her continued belief in Trump's lies, she feared that Dawn was, quote, susceptible to being egged on for political violence. Thomas also spoke in court, telling the judge that he has, quote, never been political before. I just kept watching what was happening on the news. I got myself overwhelmed. Well, Judge Howell told him that he, quote, should have known better before leading his family into a chaotic situation. She also admonished both of them for taking their son Joshua with them because apparently he has a medical condition and it makes it difficult for him to stand. So with that, Judge Howell sentenced both Thomas and Dawn Munn to 14 days in jail. They're going to serve that intermittently in 2 7-day periods. She also gave them each 3 years of probation, 90 days of home confinement, and 60 hours of community service. And then they were each ordered to pay a $500 restitution fee. I mean, talk about indoctrinating your kids, right? And these people have 8. They have a total of 8 children. So I didn't want to make this video too long, so I am doing a separate video for the children who have the adult children who have now been sentenced as well. When I hear more about these people, I'll let you know. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.